Today on JD Riffs and Reviews, as promised, we are looking at my new R2 from Dunable. Last week, you guys saw me opening up this beautiful, beautiful guitar. I got it from Haggerty's Music in South Dakota. They got it from Dunable themselves, and just a little backstory there. If you're not familiar with Dunable guitars, it's a smaller shop that is getting very, very big, very, very quickly, and you definitely need to check it out if you're into classic but oddly shaped guitars. I mean, right away you can see this is more or less a Gibson RD with a lot of refinements, a lot of things that make it less of a Gibson RD and kind of make it a lot cooler, in my opinion. Dunable Guitars obviously is owned by Sasha Dunable, which if you're familiar with any of his music and Intronaut, you'll kind of know what idea these guitars are going for, but they're being seen more and more places. I believe a couple years ago, and I could be wrong, somebody had one at the Super Bowl, and they're really exploding. You can get them at Musician's Friend. Like I said, I got this one from Haggerty's Music. I know Coast Sonic has a bunch of them. I know the Music Zoo by my hometown on Long Island, they have a bunch that they're constantly doing, so they're all over the place. But you can also order direct through Dunable and basically pick almost any option. For today's purposes, we are looking at this. If you were to compare it to a Gibson or a Fender, you would call this basically the standard. It's a more or less very basic version of the R2, which is kind of perfect for this purpose. They start at $22.50. This one I believe was about $23.25, which, considering it has minimal upgrades, I forgot what upgrades it actually has. I know there's one or two. But considering it has minimal upgrades, it's a great introduction to the brand. I actually have wanted a Dunable since probably 2014, 2015, if they made them that far back. I know it was way back in the day when this model was still called the R2D2. Now it's just the R2 for kind of obvious reasons, but it's still really cool. So back in November, I actually ordered myself a custom Cyclops with flame maple top and all the goodies, basically. And I'm still waiting for that one to come because there is about a 9-month wait time right now, and that is getting shorter, and he should have about 6 months soon. But, I mean, 6 months for a custom-made guitar, it's incredibly quick. 9 months is incredibly quick if you're used to some of the other build times of years. But tax return basically came around, and I'm going to say my daughter bought me this guitar. It is something I've wanted for a long time, like I said, and I saw it and I needed to have it. I kind of have a affinity for super metal looking guitars in completely inappropriate colors, and this surf green is exactly that. So let's get into it. This guitar is a mahogany body, mahogany neck, and ebony fretboard. It is a 25.5-inch Fender style scale with these stay tight tuners, open gear in the back to kind of reduce the weight. And even there, I'll say this is still a little bit neck heavy. This is very, very light mahogany. It's got your standard stop tail and tunematic bridge with a volume and a tone control, and your 3-way down here with your jack there. These come with Dunable's own Grizzly pickups, which are, I want to say, A4 scatter wound or something along those lines. Very classic sounding, very mid heavy, they can be very aggressive, but they can also be very sweet sounding. So they kind of fit perfectly for this guitar. The neck itself, very, it's interesting. I would call it like a smaller Gibson style neck. When I look at my Explorer, it's got these very heavy shoulders on the back and then like a very flat middle. And this is somewhat close to that. It's not quite as round as my Fenders, but it's also not quite as thick as my Gibsons. And if you're a player like me who tends to wrap his fingers around, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect for that kind of solo. Tusk nut, and basically all you need in a rock and roll metal guitar. The little things that I love about it is that they put the strap lock there. I'm a bigger guy. I hate when the strap lock is in the back of the neck because the guitar sits funny versus sitting like it normally would. That's partly why I play so many Fenders and Ibanez guitars, even though Ibanez is guilty of it too, sticking it in the back of the headstock, in the back of the neck. The fretwork is amazing. I'll say that right away, that it is pretty close to what my Prestige feels like in terms of these fret ends. There's no popping. There's no kind of rough spots. There's nothing I needed to, sand down or anything like that. The pickups sound great. Tune-o-matic and stop bar do their job. I mean, there's really nothing special to say about those. Very nice switch. I don't know what brand they use, but it feels very robust. And same thing with the volume and tone knobs. And I kind of love these giant witch hat style knobs. Partially, myself, I like those smaller MXR style pedal knobs, but these are also really cool too. And these are kind of a trademark of Dunable at this point. This is a surf green finish with a nitro covering. And now to get into some of the kind of misses, I'll call it. I'm not a fan of the feel of this finish. Now, by no means did I want a glossy, plasticky finish, but it feels like there could have been some more wet sanding. I mean, it's kind of the aesthetic and it's hard to show. You definitely have that wood grain feel. You definitely feel like you're playing something that's been broken in, but I like the satin look with a very smooth feel. Like right here, actually, it feels like they might have wet sanded a little too much, but this right here is the best feeling part of the finish to me. However, I think over time that will kind of get worn away, especially since it is such a thin nitrocellulose covering there. And I'm kind of looking forward to it because I've seen some beat up Dunable R2s. For example, if you check out the Does It Doom video of the R2, just some of the wear that's on that guitar looks awesome. Also, and I'll show some close-ups of this, in the frets, there are some spots where it did look like they had to use some filler, which is not unheard of. It's completely reasonable, and it doesn't affect the guitar sound or tone or anything at all. It still feels like these frets are high enough, you don't even really feel that, and I don't care. It's fine. The last thing that kind of bothered me about this guitar, which isn't really a bad thing by any means, it's more of a personal thing, is I bought this guitar that was spec'd out by a shop, and they spec'd out this aged, you can see it best probably on the pickups and the bridge, this aged kind of look for the metals. And personally, I don't like it. My Flying V actually has some bare knuckles that are brushed nickel, so it's like a flat color. I love that. This is not that. This is a aged chrome look where they must have dipped or brushed like some sort of oil on it, and it does look kind of marred a little bit, but it's still perfectly smooth. So it just kind of looks aged, but it's not actually aged. My tuners are a little stiff in spots. I don't know if that had to do with the aging process, because to be honest, it looks like they might have tossed one of the tuners in the dirt, which kind of looks cool, but being that it's an open back tuner, it just feels kind of grindy, so I might have to clean that out. I think for the price of this guitar, considering what it is, it's a custom made, handmade American guitar for under $2,400. You can't even get a Gibson custom shop for nearly double that. I think when you look at this and it's priced here, it's probably well above anything else you're going to get in this range. Unless you want something like basically a Fender American Elite Strat like I have. Maybe a used Gibson because otherwise, even with Gibson, you're going to get some of the mid-tier guitars or the super up, high price guitars. They don't really even have anything that fits in this range. And again, for a little bit more money, you can get flame maple tops, you can get swamp ash, you can get maple fretboards, you can get a baritone scale, you can get different tuner options, you can get many different pickup options, which they don't charge anything extra for whatever pickup you want, as long as if it's one of theirs. All their pickups, as far as I know, are the same price. You're just paying if, like my Cyclops, is supposed to only have the bridge pickup. I'm getting the neck pickup as well. That costs a little bit extra, but you know what? It's kind of reasonable. You're really just paying for the pickup. You can get different options. My Cyclops is going to have 2 volume controls, no tone. You can get mini switches. Again, my Cyclops is going to have a series parallel switch. You can talk to them about the position of the switches. I've seen some R2s maybe without the pick guard that have the switch up here. That would have been cool. They tend to put it down here because that's kind of where it was on the original RD. They have a bunch of different bridge options. If you want to get a mastery, if you want to get a trapeze bridge, which would look really cool in this model, but I don't know if it's possible because of the cutaway and just the angle of the of this. But other than that, the guitar plays and feels amazing. It just rings true once I put some new strings on it, because the original 10 gauge strings for what I play was a little tinny and weak sounding. So I have some Ernie balls. I think they're the Beefy, something like that, 11 to 52s, because I'm playing down a whole step. And it didn't need any setup. It came right out of the case, basically in tune. And when I put the new strings on it, it did have a little bit of a bow in the neck, but I straightened the truss rod out, and it is perfect. Didn't have to play with the bridge, didn't have to do any crazy work. It just sings. So yeah, let's get into playing. So yeah, that about does it for my review of the Dunable R2. Like I said, I love this guitar. I'm getting a second one. To be honest, me and my co-guitarist Anthony and Old Bones are talking about getting a third. I highly recommend checking them out. They're not crazy priced. They're extremely reasonable. Sasha's a great dude who emails you back constantly. Definitely check them out if you can. Spend your money here instead of at Guitar Center or something else. Or if you go to Guitar Center, get one of the Dunables, but they are going to be more expensive. So thank you for checking out JD Riffs and Reviews. I am your host, JD. If you want to hear this guitar some more, check out some of the new upcoming Old Bones songs. We actually released a new song yesterday. And check out Witches, my other band that has new material coming out this coming Friday. So if those things kind of interest you, check out the links below. Make sure you like and subscribe because it helps us out to get us noticed. And the more we get noticed, the more I can spend money on guitars and justify the gear purchases. So other than that, I'll check you out later. Make sure you keep watching. Thank you. See you next time.